but it's time to break down the real basketball, the real fit on the court for the Brooklyn Nets. Let's begin there because I love this fit. Now we can debate, okay, will Ben Simmons fit in with Kyrie and KD on a personal level because we know how intense they are and how much they're going to want to push him. We can talk about that, but I want to talk about it like this. He's a top 5 defender in the NBA. He can guard any position. That means in any playoff series, he can match up with the best player on the other team. He can, no one can stop Giannis, but he's got the strength and the size to match up and guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay? You're going up against the Miami Heat, he can guard Jimmy Butler. You're going up against the Boston Celtics, he can guard or try to guard Jason Tatum. He is a fantastic defender, and that takes that pressure off Kevin Durant. That takes that pressure off because he can even guard smaller players, takes the pressure off Kyrie Irving. So I love it on the defensive side of the basketball.
I think all that sounds great. All that sounds, in your generation mode, this is like 2K. It sounds good until you actually get in real life. I'm not buying it, Mo.
You're not buying the defense of Brooklyn with Ben Simmons.
I'm not. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, Mo. Let me tell you why. Everything you said individually, he has the potential to do all of those things.
Yes.
Okay. Individually, he is a terrific defensive player. No denying that. But if you're going to be terrific as an individual defensive player, that means you have, and if you're going to win, because Brooklyn now, they aren't doing this deal to just get to the first or second round. They have to be a terrific team that defends. Rudy Gobert is a prime example. He is the best, one of the best, if not the best individual defensive player in the league.
Yep.
But every year when we get to the playoffs, we can isolate this individual defender, and we can put him in uncomfortable positions because the other 4 guys can't defend. You can run in this league in the regular season mode, but you can't hide once we get to the playoffs.
I hear it.
Okay. Now, I like the defense that you just said with Ben Simmons. That was great. That was beautiful. And you're absolutely right. However, I don't see Kevin Durant doing this anytime soon. Him and Kyrie Irving, they play with a certain level of freedom. What you and I might consider a bad shot or early shot on the shot clock, you got to let those guys play with a certain level of freedom.
Yeah.
There is no way possible that if they are shooting or the way they play on the offensive end with pace, because they're playing with a lot of pace, that they're going to be able to get back and be a good transition or a good defensive team.
Well, here's the thing about playing with pace. I don't think they played with a hell of a lot of pace with James Harden. They're going to play with a whole lot more pace now with Ben Simmons because you're getting a guy that once he rebounds the basketball, he's looking for those outlet passes or he's pushing the ball in transition himself.
Equals long rebounds. Long shots equals long rebounds. Provided Ben can play. Ben, there's no way Ben's going to be in shape this year. We can talk about the Ben from last year, what we think he's going to do. Ben hasn't played.
Well, neither had Kyrie, and Kyrie looked pretty good shape when he came back.
Okay. And they're on a 9-game losing streak. No, Mo, okay. at some point here,
okay,
they are on a 9-game losing streak.
Okay, currently it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for him.
Did he score 20 points? Okay, he scored 20 points. They're on a 9-game losing streak right now.
Okay, but maybe not in the immediate first few games. Once he does get back in shape, once he does get back into condition, we talked about the defense. Let's talk about the offense. There's a whole lot less pressure on him now because he's not a number 2 option. He's not the second superstar in the team. He's a third.
He wasn't the number 2 option there last year. He wasn't the number 2 option there the year before. When is it? When do we start playing and asking Ben Simmons to carry the team on the offensive end?
The fans viewed him as the number 2 guy in Philadelphia. The debate was, is it the Simmons team or is this Embiid's team? Here in Brooklyn, the role is defined. It's not.
All right.
You could talk about this, but the fans are the whole reason he wanted to leave Philly, because he didn't want to be booed. He didn't want the criticism. He didn't want the media criticism. That's the thing. We could talk about all the other stuff like we discussed yesterday, okay? But Ben Simmons, he is one player who does take into account what the fans think. Whereas now in Brooklyn, the roles are defined. This is Kevin Durant's team. And if it's not KD, it's Kyrie Irving. So his role in the offense is going to be very simple. He's going to push the ball in transition. He's going to fire the outlet passes or push the ball himself. And then in the half-court sets, I want you to remember when we were breaking down those games in the playoffs, the Brooklyn games, and we saw Bruce Brown absolutely going off one game in the pick and roll with KD as the roll man when he was hitting all those little floaters on the short roll. That's going to be a 7-foot Ben Simmons now. So now when they use Ben Simmons as a screener in a pick and roll, he's playing like a big man. So he only has to finish around the bucket or he can pass out a short roll. Moreover, when they double team Kevin Durant or when they double team Kyrie Irving and they pass the ball off to Ben Simmons, he's working with a numbers advantage. So it's going to be a 4-on-3. So he's got passing options, or he can go and run downhill and attack the paint himself without having to worry about Joel Embiid being inside the paint to clog the lane. I like the fit. I think it's a much better fit for him. And I do think that it can work out.
I sounds good on paper. I'm not going to argue. All of this sounds great. Like, okay, we can crown them the paper champions, Mo. I will crown them right now the champions on paper. It sounds good. You can hit him on the short roll. He's a bigger version of Bruce Bowen or Bruce Brown, or whoever. That sounds good. At what point is he going to get on the floor and start playing?
Well,
I don't care who you are. It's going to take more than 30 games for you to get in shape.
Okay? So you're saying this,
I don't care.
You're saying this season is a write-off for Brooklyn.
Absolutely. If it's not a write-off, why play? Just everyone should just not come back to after an All-Star weekend. If it's that easy and that simple, everyone should just sit out to after All-Star weekend and then play after that. Why are we playing the game?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm not mad at that because adding Ben Simmons extends the championship window of this Brooklyn Nets team for a much longer time had the trade not happened, because otherwise they would have had to go all in with James Harden this year, and then who knows what would have happened in the summer. So I think that their championship window has now been extended. But let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers fit now. I want to know your thoughts on how James Harden and Joel Embiid, on paper, like you like to tell me, on paper, they can be great, okay? Elite guard, elite big man, 1-2 punch, great pick and roll. They can run a nice pick and roll. And, Joel Embiid's finally got a great guard and they can both get to the free throw line a lot. But do you think that it's going to work in reality? Bearing in mind, this is the second team in just over a year that James Harden has forced his way off. Do you think that James Harden, because this is Joel Embiid's team, this is Embiid's team, he's the MVP candidate right now, the front runner for MVP. He needs the touches. He needs the ball down the stretch when he demands it. Do you think James Harden is going to fit in to that secondary role and accept that this is Joel Embiid's team? Or do you think Joel Embiid will make an adjustment to accommodate for James Harden?
Great players always find a way to play. Okay. Joel Embiid now is a top 3 player in the NBA.
Without question.
If you said Joel Embiid, in my opinion, was the MVP,
I'm not mad.
You can't be mad. He is without question the most dominant interior player right now in the league. Okay. And that's saying a lot because Jokic won the MVP last year.
Mm-hmm.
And my man Giannis. Okay. But Joel Embiid.
G-Unit.
Unit. Yeah. And that G stand for grown man. Giannis is a grown man now. But Joel Embiid is a true big in every sense of the word. Now,